All right. Hello to everyone online too. Welcome to KPC for Sunday morning meditation. Make sure my volume is up. All right, so let's take a moment to really focus on our motivation for being here today. And whether you are brand new to meditation or you've been doing meditation for a while, it's always important to start with our motivation. And here we really focus on something called bodhicitta, which is the compassionate wish to free all beings from suffering. And so that is the motivation for wishing to have more awareness and spaciousness in our mind, is the wish to help free beings from suffering. So whenever we, again, start for listening to a Dharma teaching or doing meditation or doing a practice or praying, we always begin with our establishing our intention for doing so. Because that really directs it determines the direction of our actions. So motivation is key, our motivation. So let's just take a moment to establish that in our minds before we begin. All right. So the meditation that we're doing today is Shamatha. And the text that we're referring to is a book by our teacher, Jetsama, Stabilizing the Mind. So it's kind of helping describe how do we best do this Shamatha meditation and stabilizing the mind meditation. So what is meditation? Meditation is the natural state of our mind when it's relaxed, when it's stable and open. Meditation trains our mind to be calm and relaxed, yet also alert and wakeful. And the whole point of meditation is to create more spaciousness in our mind. We hear about so many things like, oh, meditate, it's getting a little trendy these days. Oh, meditation for lowering your blood pressure, or for relaxation, or, in classrooms, in wellness, wellness centers. But the whole point of it, and the reason why we do it, and the foundational reason for meditation, is to create that spaciousness in our mind. So we have that spaciousness and stability of mind, which in turn can help us balance our emotions. It can help create a buffer between our actions and our reactions. So creating a way for us to deal with anything that's coming at us in life. So we can have that pause before we react, or before we have that, a hurtful conversation or whatever that is. And we think of just all the demands of our modern life, or of school, of work. So many things are coming at us. There's so many things that we have to do and keep up with. And it's really easy for our mind to be racing and very busy. So meditation, we think of all the things that we do for like our body, like maybe we work out, or we eat well, or we go to the doctor. But what do we actually do for our minds? So meditation is a way to really give the mind rest, a break, letting up on all those continuation of thoughts. And oftentimes we don't really realize how much our minds are racing until we sit in our silence and sit and try to just focus on the breath. And today we're going to have our focus be on the breath. The wonderful thing about the breath is it's always with you. So you can always check in with the breath. You can always find your center by going in, focusing in on the breath. So, and for Buddhism, meditation is very important because it is the first step in developing bodhicitta, which is that what I mentioned earlier, that compassionate wish to free all beings from suffering, that compassionate wish, and that hope, or that, let's see, that wish that all beings are happy, just like we want to be happy. All beings want to be happy. So if you're in a comfortable seat on the floor, and if you're watching online and you're sitting in a chair, that's fine too, as long as our spine is straight. And it doesn't have to be rigid. Nothing about meditation is rigid. It's always relaxed, but again, wakeful. So we don't want to be like feeling uncomfortable with how straight our back is. Think of it as the spine is lifted. And in terms of our hands, if it's more comfortable for your hands to be on your thighs, that's fine. But a traditional posture would be the right hand over the left with the thumbs touching, and just like putting them in your lap. And then your shoulders are going to be back, so you're not, hunched in. Again, this is a good time we can practice our posture. We think of computers or our phones. So we have our shoulders back. Our elbows are back too, so we're not hunched over. And with this meditation, we do keep our eyes open, but it's a very soft gaze. So we're not, intently staring at the floor, but we're gazing down towards the floor, almost like if we were to draw a line from the bridge of our nose extending down, and we're picking a point on that line to rest our gaze. So it's not like I'm staring, intently at like because the wood flooring here, like a grain in the wood flooring. It's more like a soft gaze in that direction towards the floor. And also another traditional thing that we do is we want a little bit of breath also coming through the mouth as well. So we put the tip of our tongue behind our front teeth. So it's just like a little bit of, like almost like you're saying the word, like the L sound. And then, so you're letting a little bit of that air pass through the mouth as well. We're going to just allow ourselves in this position to breathe naturally. We're not counting our breath. We're not being forceful with the breath. We're just breathing as naturally as we can. And sometimes it takes a few deep breaths to get to that natural rhythm. And that's fine if you need to do that. So we're just breathing naturally, and we're placing our attention on our breath, but it's a very light attention. So we're not thinking, okay, I'm inhaling, oh, now I'm exhaling, I'm inhaling. Okay, focus on the breath, whatever thoughts are like that. It's just a light attention. If your attention needs to go somewhere, it's on the breath, but you're just observing it. There's no pressure. Your attention is like a feather gently riding the surface of your breath. So if thoughts come up, we can just imagine they're like, bubbles popping, like coming up through the surface of a pond, and we just let the thoughts pop and let them go. So we don't have to look at them. We don't have to examine our thoughts. We don't have to go down the road with our thoughts. Having thoughts isn't bad. It doesn't, break our meditation. But what breaks our attention and our meditation is when we just go down the road with them and we keep thinking, oh, here's my thought, or I'm judging my thought. Oh no, I'm having so many thoughts. Just just cutting that and returning to the breath. So if your thoughts are really busy today or rapid fire, you can even imagine throwing your thought away or cutting the thought with scissors and tossing it out. Whatever helps you return to the breath. Again, your meditation is not lost by hearing your thoughts, just by following them down the road. That's what loses our meditation. So again, we're just breathing naturally, and anytime thoughts arise, we just return to the breath. Just let it go, return to the breath. So just like thoughts might arise, like just how we inhale, thoughts arise, but with the exhale, we just let them go. So we're going to start with, we'll start with a shorter session we'll do 5 minutes. I have my timer here. And feel free, again, if this is your first time doing meditation and you need to shift or move or get comfortable during that 5 minutes, that's totally fine. There's, again, just be where you're at and do what you need to do. Sometimes 5 minutes can seem like a long time too if we're just starting. So if you are feeling like you want to start a meditation practice, you can always start with 30 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes and slowly build your meditation over time to create that spaciousness in your mind. Okay, so we'll start the 5 minutes now. Feel free to stretch a little bit or some water for our next one. I'm gonna turn this down real fast. All right, so sometimes we might notice that our internal thoughts are what are most distracting, losing our attention like that if we have a lot of mental thoughts. But also it can be sounds, external thoughts or sounds or things we hear. And then we can just watch our mind just jump from one thing to one thing to one thing to one thing. So again, it's all about being able to drop that and return to the breath. And our minds are not used to that. We're really used to following our thoughts wherever they go. And meditation really helps you have more of a command over your mind. And it takes the consistency of doing it again and again to kind of create that new habit and that habit of stability of mind. But again, like, I was mentioning before, it really can help so much with how we move through life. And it's such a helpful tool to really have access to the spaciousness and the stability of our mind, especially in moments where things seem completely unstable, things seem, and very chaotic. And, our modern world is very much like that. So having that, knowing that you can always go within yourself and find your breath and find that stability of mind is a gift. So we'll do just a little bit longer than that. I think I'm just going to keep the sessions a little shorter today, which again is a great way to, if you're just, again, new to meditation, it's a great way to do it. It's just little short sessions. Even, you can think of meditation. You don't have to think of it always in this traditional way of like you're sitting, in a cushion and you have all, the way the postures and how your hands are. You can also have moments where you are checking in with your breath, even throughout like transitions in your day. So if you're, let's say, driving somewhere and you just want to have a moment, you get to your destination and you want to have a moment before you get out of your car to go do something or whatever, just like focusing on the breath, even just like, right now we're kind of staring down towards the floor, but you can even rest your gaze on your steering wheel and just have a moment where you focus in on the breath and have your attention be uninterrupted. And that can really, again, give us that space to then move throughout our day. So let's, okay, we'll try it again. And each time we do a sit, our mind might feel wildly different. We might feel very relaxed at one point, and then very like our mind feels very busy. So again, it's not really about getting attached to the outcome. It's not. It's really about just showing up and trying to do it again and again, and not like whether our meditation was really good or really bad, because that's not the point, to get attached to the outcome. It's just, it's just practice. It's like if you're learning a new skill or a new sport, you just have to show up and do it, and then it's going to become natural to you. So that's the point, just having this be something that's natural to our experience. Okay, so here, let's try it again. Click the gong. Go. Okay. All right, so we'll just do one final, very short sit. And if you are interested, we also have a lot of resources on our KPC or Kunzang Pale Choling YouTube channel that has a meditation playlist. So if you're interested in learning about other types of meditation as well, there are teachings there and different types of meditation you can do and can meditate along with. So let's do one more. Again, just as a reminder, we're keeping our back straight. And sometimes it's hard even when we're first sitting in this position because maybe our legs feel tight or our hips or our back. So even that, like when we have all these body sensations, even those can be distractions where it kind of leads our mind to feeling more and more thoughts, and then our mind feels very busy. So even when we're feeling like kind of uncomfortable, like our shoulders are tight or something, even then trying to return to the breath. And we can actually see that those physical sensations even start to dissipate more when we return our attention to the breath. Obviously, I don't want you to be uncomfortable, so you can move if you're uncomfortable, but I'm just meaning just even breaking that focus of thinking of the body or different body sensations in a, more intense way. So again, we'll sit up straight spine but relaxed spine, like we're just lifted, and our hands in our lap, our right over our left with our thumbs touching, or we can just have our hands touching our thighs. And then we're breathing naturally and having our gaze down towards the floor. And the tip of our tongue and the back of our teeth, so that a little bit of breath moves through the mouth as well. And again, breathe naturally. And as any thoughts arise, we're just letting them go, returning to the breath again and again. Even if you have to keep doing it over and over and over and over again, it's just returning to the breath. It's saying, nope, this is where I want my attention, is on the breath. And if you're finding that you've felt very distracted the last 2 sessions, you can actually lower your gaze a little bit, and that lets less light into your eye. So it actually helps the mind concentrate more and relaxes the mind more. Or let's say it relaxes the mind more if it's very busy. But if you're feeling very sleepy or drowsy, you can actually raise your gaze a little bit to let more light into the eye, and that actually can help keep the mind to be more alert and wakeful. So let's just try this last shorter finishing session, and then we'll do the dedication. All right. So we'll go on the back side, and I realized I went straight into talking about meditation and didn't even do the opening prayer this at the beginning. But you can also read through that as well. So on the back side, we have, these are just some of our dedication prayers that we use. And we do these at the end of our practices, whether we're doing like a group practice or meditation or prayer, kind of like praying and chanting in here, different practices that we do throughout the week, or do meditation. We always do a dedication. So it's kind of like directing or like dedicating the blessing or the virtue of our practice, of our intention, of our effort to the benefit of all beings. So you can read along or say it out loud if you want, or just however you want to do that. And I'm going to put them up on the screen for people online. There you go. Throughout my many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue I've accomplished, including the merit generated by this practice and all that I'll ever attain, this I offer for the welfare of sentient beings. May sickness, war, famine, and suffering be decreased for every being, while their wisdom and compassion increase in this and every future life. May I clearly perceive all experiences to be as insubstantial as the dream fabric of the night, and instantly awaken to perceive the pure wisdom display in the arising of every phenomenon. May I quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas altogether, whatever kind of motivation you have, whatever kind of beneficial action, whatever kind of wishing prayers, whatever kind of omniscience, whatever kind of life accomplishment, whatever kind of benevolent power, whatever kind of immense wisdom you have, similarly I, who have come in the same way to benefit beings, pray to attain these qualities. By this effort, may all sentient beings be free of suffering. May their minds be filled with the nectar of virtue. In this way, may all causes resulting in suffering be extinguished, and only the light of compassion shine throughout all realms. All right, so thank you all for doing this with us today and being here. And thank you for those watching online. I'm going to end the stream now. And if you are local and watching, we do have a drum circle coming up at 11:30, which is a really fun way. We can have a bunch of musical instruments, and we also chant different mantra. So that's at 11:30. Thank you so much for joining online.